Sitting inside his luxury villa in Bangkok, a man was using a laptop when suddenly from outside he heard a loud accident sound. Completely unaware that his luxurious life was about to end in a few minutes, he left his laptop open and ran outside. It is said that the police had been waiting for this day for many years. This was the morning of 5th July 2017 in Bangkok, and the person we are talking about was not an ordinary man. He lived a multi-millionaire king-like life, spending his days, evening. For years, he kept his identity hidden. A small mistake washed away everything: properties, money, wealth, cars, and even his life. But what exactly was that small mistake? And how did the police of 7 countries, along with Colbin, find the world's most wanted dark web king? This is about 2010, when the dark web was slowly rising. Dark web is the other side of the internet world where all kinds of illegal activities happen. From drugs and weapons to giving contracts for target killings, all black business happens here. Such activities happen here that even believing them is difficult for us. There is a special reason behind all these illegal works happening on the dark web. Criminals worldwide want to hide their identity so that police and law enforcement agencies cannot catch them. And on the dark web, this issue seems solved forever. Just like for normal internet browsing, we use Google. Before 2010, dark web wasn't so trendy. But after cryptocurrencies arrived, the problem of payment transfer for illegal trades was solved because tracking cryptocurrency is impossible for authorities. The issues of illegal trades on the dark web had been solved. The contractors' identities were safe, and payment transfer had become quite safe too. Now, only one thing was needed: a good and reputed platform or a dark website. First, a dark website called Silk Road was created, which got huge success in this dark world of the internet. It started in February 2011, and immediately, more than 1 lakh customers started using it. But after 2.5 years, the owner of Silk Road was caught and the website was shut down. But because there was a high demand for this business, many new dark websites were launched within days, including Silk Road 2.0 and Evolution. On these websites, customers would give their bitcoins to the platform for buying and selling, and after purchase, the platform would deduct commission and send the rest to the seller. Now, since everything here was black business, often website operators would take all customers' money and disappear after shutting the website. This was called an exit scam. Anyway, nobody knew who they were, and due to the dark web, tracing them was almost impossible. Thus, in case of exit scams, drug dealers would simply shift to another platform. In the early years of the dark web, there were lots of scams, exit scams, owners being caught, and hacking, all very common. A reputed and trusted platform was needed, and this was the time when in 2014, a dark website called Alpha Bay was launched. Nobody knew the person who launched it, nor his location. He identified himself as Alpha 02. Initially, only identification was sold here, but later, sales and purchases of other products also started, like money laundering and drugs. Some things were banned from being traded on Alpha Bay, like child abuse material and stolen Russian bank account details. Why? Maybe Alpha 02 did not want to mess with Russian law enforcement agencies, or he wanted to show U.S. agencies that he was operating from Russia. Of course, a place where the U.S. has no hold. Within its first year, Alpha Bay had already established itself on the dark web. Within 1 year, 2 lakh customers and more than 40,000 sellers started doing a black business smoothly here. By 2017, more than 3 lakh items were listed on Alpha Bay, and daily sales were around a few lakh dollars. Alpha 02, whom no one knew, started earning hundreds of thousands of dollars per month and soon became the undisputed king of the dark web. Alpha Bay had become the biggest marketplace on the dark web, building a trust level among dealers and customers. Meanwhile, law enforcement agencies around the world were trying to find Alpha 02's real identity, but had so far failed. American investigators wanted to find Alpha Bay's server location so they could raid the data center and shut down the platform. And maybe this could lead to Alpha 02. Normally, finding a server location of a website isn't too hard, but because dark websites can only be accessed through the Tor browser, which hides the real website's location behind random servers worldwide, this made reaching Alpha Bay impossible. Thus, investigators started acting like normal users and buying drugs from Alpha Bay, hoping that a dealer might make a mistake and they could catch him. But this would only catch the drug dealer, while the authorities wanted Alpha 02, who was very cautious. He knew all the tricks to survive in this dark world. For many years, he had not made a single mistake that could give any clue. But in 2017, finally, authorities got a clue to reach Alpha 02. An officer of the DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, Robert Miller, was sitting in front of his computer searching for Alpha 02 when suddenly he received an email. This email had some information about Alpha 02 and was sent by an unknown person. Now you all know that normally when someone registers on a website, they get a welcome email. Similarly, when Alpha Bay was newly launched in 2014, a welcome email was sent to this person too. The email address from which it was sent was this address. Although this mistake was later corrected, the tipper had saved this real email address and he shared it with DEA officer Robert Miller. Who was the tipper? Was he a competitor, customer, or drug dealer? It didn't matter because now DEA had the first and most important information about Alpha 02, a huge achievement. Using this email address, sign-ups were found on many social media platforms. Sky.com, a French social media platform, had a sign-up with this email under the name Alex. The investigation team also found 2008 to 2009 photos of Alex, who was probably Alpha 02. This email address was also linked to a dating profile where Alex had mentioned his hometown as Laval, a city in Canada. According to the 2008 profile, he was 17 years old at that time, and maybe the 90 in the email address was his year of birth. Using this email, he had also posted in 2008 on a French technology forum, where his username was Alpha 02. But at the end of the post, his real name was written, Alexandre Cazes. Authorities now had Alpha 02's real name, but where was he? On LinkedIn, Alexandre had shown himself as a software designer, and the biggest clue about his current location was hidden subtly. He had a villa where he lived with his Thai wife, a $3 million mansion outside Bangkok, where he partied, a holiday home in Phuket, and he was about to buy a villa in Cyprus. Agents started monitoring all his movements. He roamed Bangkok in luxury, unaware that Thailand, America, and Canada agents were following him. In his daily life, the king of the dark web was a normal human. He woke up early in the morning and spent most of the day at home. Meanwhile, authorities started planning to arrest him. But the problem was that if they arrested him just like that, they could not prove in court that he was the owner of Alphabay. Thus, the investigation team wanted to catch him red-handed while he was working on his laptop. Although Alphabay was the largest marketplace on the dark web, it had a competitor in Europe called Hansa, which had troubled European authorities. While Americans were making plans to arrest Alexander, European investigators got a big success. They found Hansa Market's server location, probably with an informant's help. They didn't want to shut down Hansa immediately because it would just be relaunched elsewhere. Instead, they secretly copied Hansa's server data and, after reading the admin chats, found out the Hansa Market owner was in Germany. European authorities, along with German Federal Criminal Police, started tracking him. Meanwhile, the U.S. FBI informed European authorities that they were about to arrest Alpha 02 and shut down Alphabay. Thus, American, European, and German authorities, a total of 7 countries' agencies, decided to reshape the operation, calling it Operation Bayonet. According to the plan, European authorities asked the FBI not to arrest Alpha 02 until they took control of Hansa Market in Europe. This was a very clever move. Normally, when one dark website shuts down, dealers and customers simply shift to another. Since Hansa Market was the second largest site after Alphabay's shutdown, everyone would rush to Hansa, which was already under European authorities' control. Thus, thousands of new dealers could be caught. Operation Bayonet was like a honey trap. Meanwhile, Alexander Cassis was unaware, busy in his luxuries in Bangkok. On 20th June 2017, the first phase of the mission succeeded. European authorities raided Hansa's data centers in the Netherlands and arrested its owners in Germany's cities Singen and Cologne. But this news was not made public. Hansa Market was now under European authorities' control, and nobody on the dark web knew about it. Meanwhile, in Bangkok, the second part of the mission, arresting Alexander Cassis, was being prepared. DEA, FBI, and Thai authorities wanted to catch Alexander red-handed while his laptop and mobile were open. Thus, on a morning of July 2017, Toyotas caught him red-handed. After scanning his laptop, they copied all his passwords. His cars, properties, and millions of dollars in cryptocurrency were seized. But Alexander was not going to make it to court. Just a week after his arrest, he hanged himself with a fan in custody. A small mistake cost the king of the dark web everything, including his life. After shutting down Alphabay as expected, all dealers and customers rushed to Hansa Market, already controlled by European authorities. Thousands of new dealers were caught, and a week later, Hansa Market was permanently shut down too. On the same day, the U.S. Justice Department officially held a press conference and shared the news of shutting down the 2 major dark web platforms with the media. Hope you enjoy Old Talk Video, on which topic I make a video. Please comment that below, and please complete my dream to be a YouTuber